Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. Good to see you. Um, I don't know if I have any viewers yet, or any viewers I don't know, um, but looking forward to sticking to this and, building a community of friends. Um, as you can see, still aim training. This is actually day two. Um, you know, and as I was continuing to aim train and think about the channel, um, I realized it didn't make sense to probably every week uh, to record and, broadcast 1 day worth of aim training. I would just have a huge pile of videos or footage waiting to be edited, have a voiceover. I feel like, you know, if I'm only putting out a video once a week and I'm recording every day, planning to use every day's recording as a video, I think at some point the future me in like 2, 3 years is doing a voiceover on day 65. So I guess a year, a little over a year, right? So it just didn't make sense. I think how I'm going to change it is I will, still continue to aim train every day, but, um, you know, every week when I put out a video, it will be actually for that that whole that whole week's worth of footage. And then I will edit out all the stuff where I think doesn't really show my improvement. So again, in this video, I'm just showing you my best attempt at each scenario. I think, how I'll do the future videos is with a whole full week's worth of training, instead of showing you my best attempt on each scenario, because then the the video will be like a couple hours long, and I don't think I'll have everyone's attention for that long. So instead, I will actually only show whether or not I get a whole new score, like a PB in that scenario, and I think that will um, cut down uh, the time of for the footage, and also truly show my best aiming. And I think that's the best way to kind of show my progress and track it and keep things practical pretty much. So yeah, uh, you know this footage is about a week ago. I just already edited it, so the footage, so I was like, why not use this, and then the next video after this one will actually be for a whole week. And uh, you know also, to be honest, I already edited that video. um, I think it's still kind of long. I think it was like 25 or maybe even 30 minutes, so still pretty long. I don't think my voiceover will be for the whole thing. um, yeah, I think that's how I'm going to do it for now. And again, it's always subject to change, and I'm open for critique and how to make things more practical, even. But I think this is what I have for now. And so I've trained for a week, pretty consistently. Um, and when you do that, it's you notice some of your mistakes and things like that. And for anyone else aim training and doing it consistently, I'm sure you can relate. And I just started to realize doing it every day, how important tension management is in your training. The second you start to tense up any part, your fingers, your hand, your wrist, your arm, elbow, shoulder, even, how much choppier your aim starts to be, and it's not fluid, not smooth, pretty much doesn't look calm. And it could happen with fatigue. It can happen when you're really trying to get a personal best, and you see the bar on the top is showing that you're going to hit a record, and that can tense you up. And um, the more you train, you notice how it feels to be relaxed and how it feels when you start to be tense. And yeah, this week's consistent training schedule I've been doing, I've noticed how important tension management is. And when I look at top aimers, the one thing I feel, it's like, wow, it feels like I'm watching someone who's using like an aimbot. It's like incredible. It's completely smooth. It's fluid. It's like there's no error, and I'm sure they have great tension management. Um, you know, when I focus on it and trying to, you know, keep things smooth, it's quite obvious how much better I am. And not only tension management that I find to be important, but also being ready to move in any direction. Um, when you start to tense up, you can find yourself, resting your arm on the table or your wrist as an anchor point, and that's fine. That's great when you know the direction you're going to be going consistently, and that can definitely help you stay smooth. But this week I've been, the footage here is clicking, but this past week I've been doing the tracking scenarios, and that's where you can see when how tension management really affects your aim and when you're tensing up, because everything on your screen is moving smoothly. So when you're not, it's obvious. And I noticed that one, my tension builds up when I'm, trying too hard or gripping too hard, but also when I am using a portion of my arm as an anchor point on the table. And, I do think it has its function and use. It can, if you are consistently going in one direction, it definitely keeps you smooth in that sense. But if you're in a scenario where you're moving your mouse in all directions, you need to have your arm be ready, and an anchor point or using an anchor point will definitely impede you from doing that. So those are two things that I noticed were pretty important to focus on in this past week's training. It was tension management and having your arm be ready to move in all the directions. And I'm excited to show next week's footage, because it's going to be long, because I got a lot of personal bests, and I don't know, it's because I haven't done the tracking scenarios in a while, but yeah, it's great to see the progress. Right now I am platinum. I three scenarios short of being platinum complete, and this past week I was pretty close to getting some diamond scores. So no diamond scores. I think this is like truly my rank, because when I was doing the beginner playlists, um, I I think was placed in silver, and then I trained and grinded a little bit to get gold complete, and I eventually got it. But it was certainly a grind to get the last two or few scenarios to gold complete. And then when I started doing the intermediate playlist, which is what you're seeing here, I remember that I couldn't even get the platinum scores. So I guess that's kind of what I'm working on right now, trying to get platinum complete. And then, from there, just get diamond scores, and then uh, push for diamond complete. And I'm looking forward to that, looking forward to the progress. I definitely notice it, not only in the scores, but when I play games. And yeah, so in the future, I'll be showing you a week's worth of footage and the PBs. And I guess right now I'll get a lot of PBs, and the videos may be a little long. Um, I guess that's because I am improving quickly, but I'm sure I'll have a plateau, and from there we'll see. Maybe I'll still continue or showing personal bests, or maybe my best attempts at the scenarios, or switch it up and put in some gameplay at the end after showing the few PBs I get to have like a reasonably length a video to do a voiceover on. But yeah, so that's the plan for the footage, and general comments to myself and you all who are aim training and around the same rank. Tension management's big, and having your arm be primed and ready to move in any direction. I think the poke exercises, tracking exercises, that will really show um, if you're truly ready to have your arm moving and keeping things smooth. I've noticed that there's a few directions that I'm weak in. Like I think moving to the left, I'm pretty comfortable with doing at any moment, but like to the right and down, like that can be a little tough for me. So yeah. We'll see how we progress together. So apart from that, I think just some general talk. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I journal a bit, and I think I want to share some thoughts and you know realizations or epiphanies with you guys after journaling. And I think for this week, I want to just talk about how to just take the first step in doing something, you know, doing something new, uh, continuing to do something that you've been doing, but maybe with new goals. How to make that first step. And this is a time where I'm doing a couple of things new, and you know, the first step's always the hardest, but once you take that first step, I think that's enough momentum to keep on going. And um, my advice for anyone looking to take the first step is just giving yourself patience and understanding. You need to create a comfortable atmosphere for you to just thrive in, and you know don't force yourself to do anything. With the In this day and age, with all the technology we have, my best advice in helping you take the first step is really learning about what it is you want to do. You know, um, for instance, I kind of mentioned in my last video, I'm a general dentist, and as someone who takes his job really seriously, I am always trying to be the best dentist I can be. And that just means adapting and improving um, every day, essentially. And you don't want to, when I was trying to make the first steps, and I'm still taking those steps, but, you know, um, it's super easy to just say, I want to be a better dentist. I want to be the best dentist. I'm going to go to work tomorrow and be the best dentist. And it's like, yeah, sure. I mean, you can do that, but what does it mean to be a good dentist? And um, for me, it just meant I had to see what kind of dentists are, on social media and what is it that they do, and learn from them. And once I have an idea of what kind of dentist I want to be, and seeing it in multiple examples, try to find their similarities and how is that different from you, and learn about that and implement that and be that. Um, you know, I always wanted to make this YouTube channel and do this. And I mean, I knew the general concepts of, you need to have footage, you need to have a microphone, but how do you put that all together? And using Google to just see, how do you record game footage? How do you video edit? Um, and once you see it and you have that knowledge and information, try it out. That's your first step. And if you're around my age, which is like, I'm 30, but if you're, honestly, 20 is pretty young, but if you're 20 and up, I'm sure you have a ton of goals that you're going to want to do. And um, you may feel like, all right, I have all of these dreams and aspirations. I want to take the first step, but I don't know what my first step should be. And it's kind of like a decision paralysis. Um, totally fine. I mean, that's why we have a word for it. And I think what helped me, because, I wanted to make this channel, I want to be a better dentist. Um, I picked up something like journaling, and I'm thinking about drawing and doing all of these things and staying healthy and eating well, all these things. And it's like, wow, like I have an idea. I consume all the information that I need to do all those things, but man, that first step's so hard because I don't know where to start. And my advice for that, when you have decision paralysis on what first step to take, um, I think you should write down all your goals and see which one you want to do right now, and literally just do it now. And it could be overwhelming to have all these first steps to take and so many different things you want to try out. But I think really thinking about your short term and long term goals um, can really help, because, for instance, you want to travel and your goal is you really want to learn the language of the country you're traveling to. That's a goal you should prioritize. If you have many goals and many steps to take, don't feel like you have to take all those steps in one day. That could be extremely overwhelming and put you in that state of paralysis. Or you can be really negative towards yourself or very stressed and not have fun with all of your goals because it's just too much pressure. Just be reasonable. Uh, know which goals are more immediate and try your best to focus on those goals, and never feel bad for not being able to do everything in the 24 hours that you have in a day, because the next day is a new day, another 24 hours. And if you are not happy that you couldn't stick to your goals, you have another opportunity to try it. And it goes the same day after day. I can't believe I ran out of footage. I think that's incredible. I never thought this would happen, and I have so much to talk about, but it's cool. I think I'm gonna cut the voiceover here. Sorry for the black screen. I'm definitely gonna continue this topic next week, and I'll see you then. See ya.